What if the very people you trust the most are the very people silently blocking your growth, not because they hate you, but because you told them too much? Think about it. You shared your salary. Suddenly everyone has an opinion about how you spend it. You shared your dream. Suddenly everyone became an expert on why it will fail. You shared your pain. And somehow, years later, in the middle of an argument, that same pain was thrown back at your face like a weapon. What if I told you that the most dangerous person in your life is not your enemy? The most dangerous conversation is not with a stranger on the street. The most dangerous moment is the moment you open your mouth inside your own home without wisdom, without awareness, without knowing which three things you must never share, even with the people you love the most. Because love does not guarantee understanding. And family does not always mean safety for your dreams, your finances, and your deepest wounds. Stay with me till the very end, because what you are about to hear might be the most important thing nobody ever taught you about the people sitting right beside you at the dinner table. What if the greatest threat to your peace, your progress, and your purpose was never living outside your door, but sitting right beside you inside your own home? We live in a world where we are constantly told, be open, be vulnerable, be transparent, share everything, express yourself, let people in. And there is truth in that teaching, partial truth, but partial truth, when followed completely, becomes a complete disaster. There is a wisdom that runs deeper than mere expression. There is an understanding that separates those who grow in silence from those who crumble in noise. And that wisdom begins with one simple but profound recognition. Not everything inside your heart belongs in the mouth. Not every thought deserves a voice. And not every voice deserves an audience, even if that audience shares your blood, your childhood home, and your family name. Because here is what nobody tells you. Love and wisdom are two entirely different things. A person can love you completely and still, with that same love, do enormous damage to your inner world, not because they are evil, not because they wish you harm, but because they are human, carrying their own fears, their own limitations, their own wounds. And when you hand them your most sensitive truths without wisdom, those truths become fragile things in fragile hands. So today, we speak about three things. Three specific things that you must guard with your silence. Three things that the moment they leave your mouth inside your family circle, begin a slow and invisible destruction of your peace, your relationships, and your future. Imagine a mountain, strong, unshakable, ancient, standing tall through every storm, every season, every year that passes. That mountain does not announce its height to every wind that passes by. It does not explain itself to every cloud. It simply stands, rooted, aware, present, and powerful. This is not arrogance. This is not coldness. This is the highest expression of inner mastery, knowing what to reveal and what to preserve. The human being who understands this principle lives differently. They move through family gatherings with a smile that is genuine but eyes that remain clear. They listen fully but speak selectively. They love deeply but guard their inner world wisely. They are not building walls, they are building temples. And temples, by nature, do not open every door to every visitor. Now, let us speak plainly. Let us be direct. Let us enter the conversation that most people are afraid to have because they confuse silence with betrayal and privacy with dishonesty. The first thing, your financial reality. What if every time you mentioned your salary, your savings, your business income, or your financial growth, you were unknowingly planting seeds of comparison, expectation, and quiet resentment in the hearts of people who love you? This is not a theory. This is human nature at its most honest. The moment your family knows exactly how much you earn, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, requests begin to carry a different weight. Suddenly, a no becomes not just a refusal, but a moral accusation. Suddenly, your choices about how you spend, how you save, how you invest become community property, open for debate, judgment, and opinion by people who have not walked a single step of your journey. And it does not stop there. Among siblings, among cousins, among extended family members, financial knowledge creates invisible hierarchies that breed something deeply toxic, comparison dressed up as concern. They will say, I just want you to be careful. They will say, I am only asking because I care. But beneath those words often lives something older and darker. The sting of seeing someone rise while they feel they are standing still. This is not your fault, and it is not entirely their fault either. This is the nature of the human mind when it is exposed to information it has not been prepared to receive with maturity. So what do? You become like water. You flow. You give warmth. You remain present, but you do not reveal the depths of your river to those who have not yet learned to swim. Your financial journey is yours. It was built through your sacrifices, your sleepless nights, your risks, your tears, and your discipline. Protect it, not with pride but with wisdom, not with superiority but with self-awareness. Because the day you stop sharing your financial details is the day you discover how much lighter family gatherings feel, how much simpler conversations become, how much more genuine the love in the room appears, because it is no longer filtered through the lens of money. The second thing, your personal struggles and deepest failures. What if the story of your greatest pain, the mistake you made, the relationship that broke you, the chapter of your life you are most ashamed of, what if that story, shared in a moment of vulnerability with your family, eventually became the sharpest sword used against you in your darkest hour? Sit with that for a moment, because this happens. This happens in families every single day. And it does not happen because your family is cruel. It happens because human beings, in moments of anger, in moments of their own pain, in moments of frustration, reach for the closest weapon available. And nothing is closer, nothing is sharper, nothing cuts deeper than a wound you personally handed to someone. You came home defeated one evening. Life had broken something inside you. And in that moment of exhaustion, of trust, of needing to be heard, you opened the door, you shared the failure, you revealed the shame, and they held you, they comforted you. And in that moment, everything felt safe. But safety in an emotional moment is not the same as permanent safety. People change, relationships shift, arguments escalate, and suddenly, 3 years later, in the middle of a completely unrelated conflict, your private wound is placed on the table, examined, referenced, and used to define your entire worth as a human being. This is not a warning to never trust anyone. This is not a call to become an island. This is a reminder that your healing, your failures, your personal battles, they belong first and foremost to you. Share them selectively, wisely, and only with those who have demonstrated over years, not months, not weeks, not one good conversation, but years of consistent, unconditional, non-judgmental presence. Because your story is sacred, your failures are your greatest teachers. Your wounds are the evidence of your courage. The fact that you tried, that you lived, that you risked. Do not place sacred things in environments that have not yet earned the right to hold them. There is a difference between being authentic and being exposed. Authenticity builds connection. Overexposure creates vulnerability. And vulnerability in the wrong space does not create intimacy. It creates ammunition. Walk with the awareness of a person who understands that not every person who loves you is equipped to handle every truth about you. Love is not the same as emotional maturity. Love is not the same as capacity for deep understanding. Love is beautiful, but wisdom is what protects both the love and the person offering it. The third thing, your future dreams and ambition. What if the dream you are carrying right now, the vision that wakes you up before the alarm, the idea that lives in the quiet space between your thoughts, what if the moment you spoke it out loud inside your family home, something inside it began to die? Dreams are the most fragile things in the universe, not because they are weak, but because they exist in a state of becoming. They are not yet solid. They are not yet proven. They have no track record, no evidence, no guarantee. And the human mind, even the loving human mind, is naturally inclined toward caution, toward logic, toward realistic thinking. Your family has seen you fall before. They have watched you try and struggle. They carry memories of your previous attempts. And from that place of genuine love and protective concern, they will do something that slowly extinguishes your inner fire. They will ask questions your dream cannot yet answer. They will present problems your vision cannot yet solve. They will offer balance that feels like cold water poured over burning coals. And most of them will not even realize what they are doing. They will believe they are helping you. They will believe they are saving you from disappointment. But what they are actually doing is asking a seed to justify itself before it has had the chance to even break through the soil. You do not owe your dream to anyone. Not yet. Not until it has roots strong enough to withstand the weight of other people's doubts. Not until it has grown beyond the stage where a single discouraging word can collapse it completely. This is why great builders build in silence. This is why certain chapters of transformation happen in private, in the quiet hours, in the spaces between obligations, away from noise, away from opinion, away from even well-meaning interference. Because the fire of ambition is most powerful when it burns without distraction, when it is not constantly asked to explain itself, when it is allowed to simply grow. The people in your family who carry big dreams themselves will understand this naturally. The people who gave up on their own dreams long ago through no fault of their own will often, without meaning to, encourage you toward the same surrender. Protect your ambition. Nurture it privately. Feed it with action, not announcement. And one day, when it has become something real, something visible, something undeniable, then you can share it. Not to seek approval, because by then you will not need it, but simply to say, look at what grew when I protected it long enough. Now understand? None of this is a teaching of coldness. None of this is a philosophy of distance or emotional numbness. The greatest love is still possible within the family. Deep laughter, genuine warmth, real connection, all of this remains. All of this is still present and necessary. But love without wisdom is like a river without banks. It floods everything. It destroys what it was meant to nourish. The banks of a river do not restrict the water. They give it direction, power, and purpose. And wisdom is the bank that gives love its truest power. The warrior who understands where the battlefield is does not fight every fight. The master who understands the weight of words does not speak every thought. The person who lives with inner clarity does not seek validation from every relationship, not even the relationship that shares their bloodline. This is not about building walls between yourself and your family. This is about building such a strong inner foundation that the love you offer your family comes from fullness, not from desperation, not from the need to be understood, not from the hunger for their approval of your life choices. Because when you stop depending on your family to validate your finances, your failures, and your future, something beautiful happens. The relationship becomes lighter. The love becomes cleaner. The conversations become more genuine. You stop showing up as a person seeking permission to live your life and begin showing up as a person who is simply, fully, unapologetically alive. And that is the greatest gift you can offer any family. A version of yourself that is whole, grounded, at peace, and no longer bleeding from wounds that never needed to be opened in that space in the first place. Guard your gold, guard your wounds, guard your vision. Not because you do not love, but precisely because you do love wisely. Speak selectively, grow in silence, and trust that the right season for everything will always come, but only if you protect it long enough for it to arrive. Guard what is sacred, grow what is fragile, love what is real, and walk through this life with the quiet confidence of someone who knows deeply, unshakably, that not every truth needs an audience. Some truths are meant only to guide you from within.